So Hilary, you have this big body of research that looks at how income support programs affect human capital development and labor force participation. Can you tell us what you find?
Yes, thank you so much for including me in this incredibly important conversation at this incredibly important time. So just delighted to be here. I'd like to make kind of 2 points from the quite large and strong set of research studies. And the first one is that, as Alex just sort of teed up, we've got a growing amount of evidence that says that when we provide more resources, particularly for children, and particularly when they're young, and those resources take the form of income support programs, like Alex mentioned, food support, some evidence on cash assistance, the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit. We find that when resources increase in the family, it not only alleviates poverty today, of course, but what we've learned in the last 10 to 15 years is that translates to a change in the life trajectory of children on average. So we see children who have more resources when they're young, having a higher level of completed education and have higher earnings, less likely to be poor themselves as adults. And we also have evidence that shows that these children, when they become adults, are also healthier. And so this adds up to really what is a very strong return on an investment of these core elements of the social infrastructure. So that's really the first point. The second point is, as I like to say, when I was a baby economist 30 years ago, economists spent most of their time quantifying the effect of income support programs on work today, focusing on the parents and the recipients, without much attention to quantifying these benefits. And really doesn't make much sense to think about the cost of a program without also thinking about the benefits. What we've learned from that work is that certain ways of providing income support can create, perhaps at most, a modest reduction in work. But what the next generation of work is showing us is that we may have had that thinking all completely wrong. That is, when income goes up, and of course the other elements of the social infrastructure that we're talking about today, that spending actually facilitates and supports work as opposed to discouraging it. So putting that all together, I think, makes a very strong argument from the research that we can think about these programs and the social infrastructure more generally, really as an investment in those children that also provides returns to society as a whole.